I often wonder, what is true power? How do I achieve it? If it's not about the clothes, the cars, the shoes, or the square footage of your house, then what is it all about? Whatever it is you do, whether you are a mother, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, or a clerk, you shift the paradigm of whatever it is you do to achieving something that is bigger and greater than yourself. That is where true power lies. Martin Luther King said, "Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great. And greatness is determined by service." Watch how one woman is using her calling to bring gender equality to Tanzania. I would love to introduce you all to Miss Asseny Muro. Thank you so much for being on the show. We got to talk last time, and I have to say, after hearing your story and all the obstacles you've gone through and your persistence, it's such an inspiration to us youth, to keep going in face of difficulties. So I have to tell you that your story has inspired me greatly. So I'd like to start by saying, can you tell us something about yourself, something the viewers would be interested in knowing? Share a small story, about your childhood, something that they would like to know about you.
As you said, I'm Asseny Muro. I'm married with 3 kids, grown up.
Okay.
Well, my life started in a village called Machame, which
Okay.
is now in High District.
Okay.
I grew up in a peasantry family.
Okay.
My father and my mother were purely farmers.
Okay.
And I was in a family of 8 kids. I am the 6th child. We were 6 girls and 2 boys. And our life in the village was basically based on agriculture, and all members of the family who could work were supposed to work to contribute to the well-being of our family, to contribute to food and things like that. We started working from very young, working in terms of digging, in terms of feeding animals and things like that. And when it came to the age of going to school, my father sent me to school, but according to my calculations, I was sent to school rather late.
Okay.
Something like 8 years plus.
Okay.
But all the same, a quarter. In the sense of being to school and working in the village as a girl, I know I'd double roles, whereby I'd go to school, and when I come home, I'd help mom and my sisters with collecting firewood, collecting water. There was no tap water by then. So as a young girl, you come from school, you have to do some household chores.
Yes.
And issue like studying after school was a challenge.
Right.
It wasn't something you do automatically, because it was a struggle. By the time you finish the household chores, you are already tired and you have to go to bed to sleep.
Right.
So as a young girl, I was schooling with double roles,
Right.
school and household chores. All the same, I have to tell you that having grown in the village and having seen the struggle which women and girls go through, I started dreaming that I have to go to school so that I have to run away from this hard labor.
Right.
Right when I was very young, I thought the only thing which will make me go away from this is by studying hard and it to improve my life from my mother who would work and feed and whatnot. And I had inspiration from other girls and the other boys. By that time, Makerere College, our people from Tanzania and mainly from Kilimanjaro were already attending Makerere.
Okay.
And when they come on leave, they'll be talking English. We would say yes, 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 yes. And then we aspired. We said, I think we'd like to be like those girls and boys. And I had one sister of mine who is my uncle's daughter. She was one among the early Makererians.
Oh, wow.
She inspired me. Although when she came from Makerere, she would still do the house calls. But still, she was so sophisticated, so I was inspired.
Right.
My struggle started when I completed standard 4.
Right.
when my father categorically said he was not going to send any girl further than that, he was class 4 by then, although it was higher education compared to now. But my father, even when I passed, said, no, you are not going, it's enough. And you have known how to read and write. I think I prefer to be a Sunday school teacher. I resisted. I said no. And that's the first time I really had sort of disagreement with my father.
Right.
Being very young, by that time maybe I was 12. I said to my father no, and the other parents who were in that meeting helped me, supported me, and my father, after this struggle, agreed to sign that I go to class 5. Entering class 5 to class 8, which was far away from home. It was a distance of 6 kilometers. I would walk every day in the morning and never miss, always. I loved the school because my aim was really to get out of the rural life and improve my life. So I really liked school. I would study. And when I went to upper primary school was class 5 up to class 8 by that time. When I reached school, because I think they thought I was smart. They meant to be office girl. You know, an office girl, you will go to the teachers, you arrange their office and things like that. So I used that opportunity. In the evening, if I didn't understand a subject, I would take a geography, maybe a geography book from the desk of a geography teacher. I go with it home. It wasn't easy to go and study home because my father would say, you have studied in Ramford School. Why again do you come and study? And you are actually exhausting my kerosene. By that time, my daughter tell you, the kerosene is from the, you know this lamp, Koroboy.
Yeah.
That's the type of lamp we had. But I would struggle when my father is going to bed, I would read. And in the morning, I return the book there. So I used the opportunity of being the office girl or office attendant girl to take extra study from the, and no teacher knew that I was, I don't think I was stealing. I was taking, isn't it? I was taking the books and read and return.
Right.
So I went on like that, and lucky enough, I passed. In class 8, I passed. And to really emphasize or at least show how I wanted to reach my goal, when I was going to do mock examination in class 8, that evening, the following day I would do mock, there came news to our family that my grandfather had passed away. And as a tradition, normally, all members of the family, you wouldn't go anywhere.
Right.
You would stay there.
Right.
You know what? Because I knew the mock examination was a determining factor to me going further. I knew.
Yeah.
So, in the morning, without even saying anything to my mother and my father, I went through the banana farm and went to school and did my examination.
Wow.
And then, lucky enough, I was pre-selected.
Wow.
But my father was very disappointed that I did that. And I think my father was thinking I was doing things very abnormal in the society, but still, maybe he didn't know my goal. So that's how I happened to go through, and from there, lucky enough, we were very lucky. Otherwise, if there was school fees, I wouldn't manage to go. But by that time, when I passed class 8, thank you God to the father of the nation, Mwalimu Nyerere, he abolished school fees.
Right.
So we were now going to secondary school free without paying school fees. And that's how I happened to go through to university, up to university. And of course, university again, I made sure that I would struggle very, because I know I had nobody to back me up if I don't struggle hard.
Right.
My only weapon was to stand by myself and study very hard. I had no uncle, I had no sister who had gone to school. I was the first one among the 5 children, because my brother who followed went to university, and my sister is the youngest. So I had to struggle and work very hard, study on my own. And even when I came to the university, I I never played with my education.
Right.
And I will have to tell you the truth. For the 3 years I was at the university, I never had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
No. No,
So good.
I want to finish my education.
Right.
And I finished my education. And here I am.
Yeah.
But with regard to employment, after finishing university, lucky enough, I passed well. Not upper, but I passed a second upper, which
Right.
gave me a qualification to be appointed as tutorial assistant. I was to be a tutorial assistant, like a lecturer.
Right.
But by that time, they called us tutorial assistants.
Right.
And I was tutorial assistant attached to the Institute of Adult Education, and I used to reside at the University of Dar es Salaam until when the parastatal policy came in. The Institute of Adult Education decided to get out of university to become a parastatal on its own.
Right.
To me, I didn't like that, but we had to fall under a parastatal.
Okay.
That's how I got out of university.
Okay.
But I want to tell you something about my master's. I finished my degree quite well in 1973,
Okay.
and I got married the same year. I got 2 kids. But the struggle I saw in the employment, the way I saw that either you fall to a trap of being favored for promotion, or you stand up and study so that you are promoted on merit. So I had to struggle to go for MA. And this at the time I had 2 kids, young. The youngest, the elder child was 4 years, and the youngest was 2.
My gosh.
So I decided I had to go for masters. That's when I saw now what now I call patriarch in the real sense. When I went to report at the university, the professor told me blankly on my face that women don't make it, these girls. I said, please allow me to show you that women can make it.
Right.
So I struggled with him like that until I showed him that women make it. I managed to study my master's with my 2 young children, and I got an A.
Wow.
From my dissertation. I tell you the truth.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there's like me. With my short story is that I have been struggling.
Right.
My life has been struggling, but I think it's not through my own ability, it's the will of God. Because I believe there is a purpose of God to put me on earth.
Yeah.
And He has made me to be there for a purpose.
Right.
So I think even if I talk proud of what I've achieved, I don't think it's my own merit.
Right.
It's the merit of the God who said, oh, Asseny Muro, you should be on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such an inspiring story, and I think as youngsters we have to take, an example from you, because you actually had to struggle so much as a woman.
Yeah.
Against your family, against society, to come up and do something with your life. These days, a lot of girls have this opportunity given to them, on a golden platter, and yet they throw it away.
Yeah.
So I think when they hear the story of how a person like you has struggled so much to and has wanted so much to have that education and to make a difference, it will really open up their eyes.
Yes, and because, imagine a village girl, even started from a village,
Right.
and coming up to be employed in the UN organization, because I ended up with the United Nations organization, and I attended an interview on myself, panel, a panel of something like 14.
Right.
I got a job in the UN, UNICEF, for children, which again made me now to go to the village and work for children and women. I got a window now that you have gotten there. Now it's an opportunity to go back. I was programming programs for women and children, and they covered many districts and many regions in Tanzania. And that I'm proud that I managed to go back to make a contribution. Even now when I'm retired, I'm still doing that.
And that is the most important thing. They always say that, like you said, we have been put in this earth for a reason, and that reason is bigger than our own selfish motive.
Yeah.
We have to do something that's bigger and greater than ourselves. We have to provide a service. So everybody has been given different strengths and different powers. So they need to use that power to make a positive difference in this world. And that's fantastic that you went back and you are now, with the work you're doing, you're trying to help the women and the children in the villages. Can you tell us a bit about what you do right now?
Yeah. As I told you, I think I may say I'm a gender activist, gender and human rights from birth, I think. Because in 1993, when I was still in UNICEF, I joined other women to form what we call Tanzania Gender Networking Program.
Yes.
It's a program we formed women who were like-minded. We are about 11 and 2 men. We wanted to make a difference in terms of gender equality and women empowerment in society. And we wanted to see a society which give equal opportunity to women and men and provide social justice. So since 1993, we registered the organization, we made programs for advocacy for policies in favor of women, we went to gender budgeting, and we went for gender training and the animation so that people could understand what is the whole concept about gender development, what does it mean?
Right.
So as I was working with UNICEF, I was also putting part-time to this organization. And the organization is still existing, it's now in Mabibo. It's a very famous organization, you may know it. So when I retired, as part-time, I'm doing some consultants, I'm doing some training with that organization.
Right.
But then me and my husband went to Moshi. And when I went to Moshi, I said, I don't think I am a person to stay behind the gates. I have to go out the village. First of all, I said there was something which I have to continue in this village, and it's something I started in UNICEF, celebration of the Day of African Child. It's my desk which initiated that, and the government took it and institutionalized it, made it national. But as days went on, the government was no longer celebrating. So when I went there, I said, it seemed like these village children in my village, they don't have a forum where they may sit and articulate and explain about their rights and even demand. So in 2005, I supported my village and the other village to commemorate that day. About 6 schools were meeting together and other children in the community to commemorate.
Right.
And from 2005 up to now, the children of my village commemorate the Day of African Child. Right. They do plays, they meet as children from different schools, they make poems depending on the theme of the day. They really make merry, they make happy. And then by the end of the day, they eat together. They eat food together.
Yeah.
And that we contribute. I contribute from my pocket, in the village leadership, in the office of the village chair contribute something.
Right.
So it has been there for now. This is the 11th year. It will be celebrated.
Right.
And sometimes we use that day to identify children with special needs and special capabilities.
Right.
Wenye vipaji maalum, you know.
Right.
We identify them.
Right.
And sometimes we give them presents, and sometimes we follow them to see what they can do in school. Right. Another thing which we did from 2002 is to support orphans and widows. Right. And we established a fund.
Right.
I beg to say that fund is not growing because it's like the village people think of support of orphans only from donors.
Right.
They don't think of inside people supporting.
Also, you know, I interviewed a lady called Rose. She's running an association to help widows. Yeah. And it's so sad in Tanzania that, you know, once a woman becomes a widow, the family does not take care of the woman and the child. Because once the husband is gone, they cut all ties with the woman. And the woman is left, you know, on her own. Yeah. So, you know, the work she's doing is to sort of teach them English and skills so that they can get jobs and rely on themselves. Yeah. But it's so sad that the society
it's so sad.
Is
and when we were initiating that, I went by feet. We had a collective of something like 11 people who
Right.
decided that we work together.
Right.
And we registered a community organization called Takima. And we went from door to door to identify the women. And when I come home, I was crying. I was telling my husband, you can't believe it. This is a village of where people have big houses, they've got gates, and people who come as donors, they think, no, these are rich people. I found very poor women in my village, just next to me in a good house. I really said no. So we started giving them chicken.
Wow.
We started, we have started a long way. And some will say, oh, Mama, we'll never forget you. I say, no, it's my duty. It's my duty. And you know what? I absorb them into the organization to be members.
Yeah.
So that they get out of the loneliness to the organization. And they are the most active. And when my organization, TGMP, organized meetings and seminars, I ask them to invite them. For the first time, they come from the village to attend a meeting in Dar es Salaam. And they get a DSA. Some have changed their houses. They've put corrugated iron sheet. I tell you, I feel proud.
Yeah.
And
it's fantastic.
It's more input. I have not gotten any donor. We are just using whatever I can contribute, whatever I can make. And now we've started this growing of mushroom. All members are members.
Okay.
And I differ so much from the women from education and whatnot, but I'm putting myself in their level.
Right.
We discuss, we plan.
Yeah.
If there is a need, I inject a capital to them, to the mushroom growing, and they continue.
Yeah.
That's how I've managed to survive. And because I found my nature is, I love to be with people.
Yeah.
I cannot just sit with my husband in my house and say I'm happy. When I mingle with people, common people, it's what makes me happy. And I feel I'm giving back to my village and to my community.
Yeah. I think women are, God has blessed women with the ability to multitask, and they are actually can become more successful because they have kids, they run a house. Women can do everything. So when you give women the capability to run a business, or the way that you are injecting capital into their small businesses, they will continue to flourish.
Yes.
So it's fantastic that you're doing this sort of work.
It's my pleasure, actually. It gives me pleasure, and I feel happy.
Yeah.
I may not, it's not much, but I feel I'm making a difference.
Yeah, that's the most important. People think that making a difference has to be on a huge scale. I don't think so. I think if you can make a difference to one person, two people, it's the after effect and the rippling effect that is the most important.
Yeah.
So how do you change the mentality in the village? How do you change the way you speak to the parents to make sure that their kids, that they are educating their girls as well, that they're giving opportunities to their girls as well?
One of the method and is an approach, you have to inculcate trust.
Yeah.
That what you are doing is not undermining them, it's something which will help them. And I didn't go there to impose.
Yeah.
I talked, like I told, when we went there, we said we have to make house visits.
Yes.
To talk with the women, talk with the kids.
Right.
So the visits revealed to us the situation.
Yeah.
And we were even noting down the families and whatnot.
Yeah.
It gave us a starting point of what to do, because when we are visiting, we are also talking, we are also trying from the discussion to underline what will be their needs, especially their immediate needs.
Right.
We didn't say it's from the discussion, because you don't go and shop for.
Of course.
Just from the discussions, I think they need this and things like that. Another thing is about ensuring that the village government is aware, because you have to work within the system.
I agree with you completely.
So another methodology was to bring the village government to understand and also to trust you that you have come
with good intentions.
With good intentions.
Yeah.
Then the other method was to start meetings.
Right.
There were meetings with the first of all, the people who were going to provide the leadership in facilitating whatever we are going to do. So we called meetings, several meetings, and tried to identify collectively what is our main vision or our main mission and our main activities.
Right.
And we boiled down to three, actually, was it three or it was three? First of all, we said from the needs we had collected, we have to raise funds to meet the basic needs. Particularly, we found children who could had no school uniform.
Yeah.
We had to support them to get school uniform.
Yeah.
Initially, we paid school uniform to up to 58 kids.
Yeah.
We had to collect shoes. We had some had to give books and things like that.
Yeah.
And then we raised funds for the Day of African Child, and we again said, in order for this kid not to be alone, we are not going to wait for the June Child Day, the 16th of June only. We'll try to create time to eat with them, because we found they were isolated.
Yeah.
Like widows, and they would come with their mothers. And then another aspect we found widows whose husbands died of HIV/AIDS, and they are also infected, and also their children are infected. And it's like the society is putting them
away. Yeah.
So we managed to build ties with those women, and we welcome them to become member of our organization.
Right.
There was another approach we used was to empower the widows with something. We started very small. We gave them chicken. I think we bought 4 hens and 1 cock. That means 5 chicken for the family. Right. And it made a difference, because we said it's not actually dignity for a widow to be given everything 100%. Right. You could give her capacity to even money to give her child a pen or a pencil. Yeah. Because if a child asks something, as a mother, you feel proud if you can provide. Yeah. So we provided that, and then next what we did was to ask for some people who could give us milk cows, because at our place people keep milk cows. Yeah. We got, I think, 3 cows, this female cows, and we gave to the women. Right. In the arrangement that if they get a calf, they'll pass that calf to another women within the same. Yeah, yeah. So that was a methodology of increasing income. Yeah. And some women are continuing now. Another thing under economic activity is now where we are growing mushroom. It's economic empowerment again, and we have started a village community bank, Vikoba.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm sitting there with them. Yeah. The women meet twice a month. Okay. We have established shares. Right. And I'm sitting there, now this is another methodology of learning. If you want to go to the village and live there, you have to learn. Right. So I'm learning every day. Right. I didn't know what Vikoba is. But then one of the women had gone to a seminar, and she teaches us all. And the reason I remember is not because I need any money, I've not taken any loan. It's because I want to inject in my shares. Right. So that women can get a higher loan. Right. Because if you inject something like only 4,000, I think they won't get much. Of course. So I go there to inject my capital so that they can get higher loans. Yeah. I think all these methods that you're even talking about, you are not just giving free stuff. You are teaching women to be self-reliant. Yes. That is the most important thing, because a lot of people believe that when they do charity, it's the best thing. And it is. Charity in terms of giving and donating is amazing, but also giving your time and sitting with these people and understanding their difficulties and trying to help them so that tomorrow they can be self-reliant is
is very good.
And actually building friendship.
Yeah.
You know, some people were saying, how can these women go with Mama Muro? They call me Mama Muro in the beginning. How can they go to her gate, you know?
Yeah.
But what's fun about it? It's just a gate for protection.
Right.
So it's like friendship and opening gates
Yeah.
to common people
Yeah.
to come and mingle with them.
Yeah.
Because what you have is not yours. Even the house I have is not mine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
right now I'm also going to excite them to start visiting each other and eating together.
Yeah.
So that they can feel, because in the village, you know, there is no outing.
Yeah.
Women wake up in the morning, wake in the morning. It's only Sunday they rest.
Yeah. And people forget that sometimes all that people need is, not to feel isolated, to have other people around them, to laugh with them and to sit with them, to share stories.
Share with them and laugh with them.
Yeah.
We laugh a lot when I meet those women.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them I know, there's no graduate. All of them are class 7 and I sit with them like my friends.
Yeah. It's so important. I think it's amazing that you are actually making such a big difference by making these women self-reliant.
Yes.
You know. So what are some of the challenges you faced when you started the TGNP?
Okay, TGNP, my dear. TGNP 1993.
Yeah.
First of all, I have to tell you, the issue of gender development wasn't very common by then. It was still a struggle. And of course, I have to tell you that I struggled about this issue of women empowerment since I university time and since I joined the Institute of Adult Education.
Right.
I was writing a lot of papers on women, gender, and things. And it was a struggle to make people understand even the concept.
Right.
And even prior to that, we've done research, a lot of research, to show the differences, to show the disparity, the gender disparities. And I remember one time, as a group of women, we were called in Dodoma by Mwalimu Nyerere to go and give our experience and give our research outcome on the different areas in the disparities, the gender disparities.
Yeah.
We went there. It was one day, and we presented on education, agriculture, and Mwalimu gave us a forum to understand. Because to him, I remember, he was working for all the people.
Yeah.
And we collected a lot of data. Because we said there is no way we can talk about, bring about women empowerment.
If you don't have
data.
Yeah.
So we talked and the other said, I'm proud to have, he said, I'm proud to have women like that in my society.
Yeah.
And I'm proud it is my education which has made you reach here.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And even called her for dinner.
Wow.
And then from there on, we are so motivated now to start an organization. Because now the issue was, do we just talk about data or we have to put in programs?
Right.
Because the challenge was now, we have to programs which will reach women.
Right.
So we initiated the TGNP. It was a very participatory method to start the TGNP. Very participatory. The first challenge we face is, do you want to have an umbrella organization like UWT? By that time, the only organization, the ruling party, Women Wing, it was, it was umbrella.
Right.
Membership up to. So we debated, it was a hot debate. Until we got there, we don't want an umbrella organization.
Right.
We want membership organization.
Yeah.
It was a very big challenge. And by being membership organization, it means there were some people who would drop.
Yeah.
But we had to do a criteria setting that we have to be like-minded, we have time, we have to be volunteer, and we got those 12 people who came together. And thank God we have come through. Another challenge was, it was alleged that we were trying to challenge UWT.
Okay.
Because we are doing the same work. In fact, we said it was not the same work, but they said, what different activities we will do which UWT is not doing.
Right.
And actually, they were even blocking us from being registered.
Oh my gosh, okay.
They talked with, by then the Ministry of Community Development and Gender had started. And it was the ministry which was registering all women NGOs.
Right.
So they were not going to register us. But when we bought that building, another challenge came. You know, struggles, it's full of challenges. When we bought that building, actually it was advertised.
Right.
And we sent a bid. I mean, to struggle and to compete with the others.
Right.
And we won over the others.
Okay.
So the people who defeated, who were staying in the offices, they said we had been favored. They opened a case
Right.
to protest. And that case ran from 1996 to 2013.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine.
Yeah.
How many years is that?
Ah.
Always they postpone with this corruption. We never give a single money for you know, as wrong going on.
Right.
Remember, it would bribe. We didn't. We struggled. Some of our leaders were locked in by police because they would say, oh, they are doing this. And all of the residents who were sent that were men. So
Yeah.
again, we are fighting against white flag.
People don't understand that, you know, just economically, more than 50% of the population is women.
Yeah.
If you give women the ability to work, your economy gets better. And people don't understand that.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's now the understanding.
Yeah.
Because now with the understanding in the TGMP now, having gone through such hurdles, of course, with the donor money, we didn't have any money to
Right.
we were depending on donor, and we had to do so well, you know, we had to perform in order to get money from donors.
Right.
And up to now, we are in good rank and in good condition with donors.
Right.
Because we do our activities,
Right.
we do make impact up to the grassroots.
Right.
We have got two very strategic forums which attract people from all walks. We run Wednesday seminars. Every Wednesday on our ground, there are seminars addressing different things, and people of different men and women come and debate.
Wow.
Be
Okay.
it policies, be it constitution,
Right.
people are there. So they find the place is theirs.
Yeah.
And then every 2 years, we run what we call Gender Festival.
Right.
Gender Festival, we call people from all over Tanzania, we call people from East Africa, from Africa, even abroad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
And what do you do during the gender festival?
During the Gender Festival, every time we run, we have a theme.
Oh, wow.
We select a theme.
Right.
And then we start with giving speeches based on the
The theme, yeah.
And then we run workshops
Right.
where the women from the grassroots participate and make their deliberations. And during the workshops, in between, we make women to celebrate their successes and to celebrate it's not just dry discussions. We have a total of dances, we
Yeah.
have a lot of dancing, and women feel
Happy and
happy
energetic.
and
Yeah.
relaxed.
Yeah.
And when they go back with action plan.
Right.
They go back with something to go and work on.
And they feel motivated, right?
Very motivated.
Yeah.
And you know what? Most of the women who have won in the councils, they've attended our sessions. In one or
Wow.
another.
Wow.
Yeah. Because when they go, they feel so energized and
Right.
empowered.
Right.
And we have women in leadership who will always meet us and say, you TMP, it's you who made me
Right.
be where I am now. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You know, through research, you know, I've seen that you have had a great impact in aiding the access of clean and safe drinking water. How has that empowered women?
Yes, my dear. Water. Water is an issue
Yeah.
in Tanzania. And because I've traveled in most of that part of Tanzania, Zanzibar,
Right.
I see how women suffer.
Right.
I've seen how women spend so much time fetching water.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen how water is even cultural. It's, you cannot be a good wife if you cannot provide your family and your husband with water. You know, all this culture. Eh? So water is so central, not to only one but to women.
Yeah.
Because of their position. Because they cook, they have to have water. They bath children, they have to have water.
Yeah.
They wash clothes, they have to. They have to find water for their husbands and male relatives to bathe. They have to. So we said, first of all, we find that water is a human right.
Yeah.
It's a right.
Basic human right.
It's a basic human right.
Yeah.
And then we said we have to run a campaign to show society and government that this is a problem.
Right.
So we ran a campaign way
Right.
back in early 2004. We started the campaigns, and we found that our campaigns have so much empowered women in the sense that, first of all, women of all walks came together to raise their voices to say we want water.
Yeah.
And we empower them to say we demand.
Yeah.
And we have told them that we demand, and we have empowered women in several places to demand from members of parliament, to demand from national leaders.
Because usually the water, for them to access water, they have to walk very far, right?
Yeah, they have to walk very far. And when water comes near women, the women are empowered because now they can realize extra time.
Yeah.
A free time to put into maybe development or into leisure.
Right.
See?
Right.
So water releases a lot of time, and some of women,
Right.
they would walk through forests, and some of them, we had cases of women who were being raped when they were going to fetch water because someone woke up very early in the morning.
Yeah.
So we have freed them from a lot of risks.
And it's not only once, they have to, because it's one woman, she has to keep going back and forth to get the water.
To get the water. So actually, getting water to women is an empowerment by itself.
Of course.
Although we say it's and also we want to empower women to educate community that water is not only a woman issue. It's a community issue.
It is. Yeah.
Because why do you make it only a woman issue?
Yeah.
Because it should be.
Everybody uses the water.
That's the thing. Why do you make it only a woman? So we are also saying more and more we should educate community. When water is there, boys and girls. And then the other is the aspect of water education of girls. Most girls are required to go and fetch water.
Right.
When they come from school.
Right.
And some fetch water when they come from school to home.
Right.
So when they finish school, they fetch water with a bucket to come home. And then the issue of water in schools, when there is no water, girls want to go to school because of their monthly menstruation.
That's one very important thing that I interviewed a lady called Hyacinta, and she's basically raising awareness about the issues of menstruation in Tanzania and how girls would miss over 41 days of school a year because they would be sitting at home, because when they go to school, they don't have access to water. They don't have the sanitary pads to use, so they have to sit at home, And it's so sad because like that they're held back in their education, and then they unfortunately cannot even give back to the economy. They are oppressed because they don't have the education, they don't have the empowerment.
And actually, this is our struggle to ensure that schools have water, and we have communicated with a lot of companies to ensure that schools have running water so that girls can be inspired to go to school.
It's amazing,
And also now we are running another campaign of removing the bucket from women's heads.
Yeah.
We are anticipating that women should no longer carry buckets of water on their heads.
Yeah.
They should go outside and open a tap.
Yeah.
So this is another
it's
campaign,
amazing. Yeah.
Remove the water bucket from women's heads.
Right.
It's another campaign.
You are an inspiration to so many women. Just me listening to your story, I'm so inspired. Who has been your inspiration?
My mother is my inspiration. You know why I say it's my mother? having gotten 3 children,
Okay.
and the way I found it difficult to raise them, and see my mother raising
8. Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
feeding us, dressing us, making us go to school. She inspires me.
Yeah.
She inspires me in the sense that if you struggle, she struggled.
Yeah.
And God gave her a long life.
Yeah.
She died when she was 97.
Okay.
She inspired me in the hard work,
Yeah.
in the love she gave us.
Yeah.
She was a market woman.
Yeah.
She would sell from one market to another, depending on whether there is profit.
Yeah.
And she was just a class 2 woman, but she had the concept of saving,
Yeah.
because the savings she made is what paid for my school items when I went to
Supplies,
secondary
yeah.
school. You know?
Yeah.
So that was the first. And another one was my sister from my uncle's sister.
Okay.
She's got Elizabeth Ligate. I love
Okay.
her so much.
Yeah.
She is a Makerelian. She was a Makerelian. She was
Okay.
one among the early Makerelians.
Wow.
And when she came to the village, you would see the way she dressed, the way she talked. And
Yeah.
went to her is like a person going to the queen, but I would go to her because
Wow.
she's my sister.
Yeah.
We differ so much in age, but she was welcoming.
Right.
She would strengthen me, say you have to go when I passed to go to secondary school.
Yeah.
I tell you, she made me even underwears.
Wow.
She's an inspiration. Another person is my head mistress,
Okay.
Mary Kam. She once was a member of parliament,
Okay.
and she was an head to our Machami Girls School and to the Ruero School. She's now an old, but she's in my inspiring is that she was an head teacher of a difference.
Right.
She loved all the children equally,
Yeah.
whether you come from rich family or what.
Right.
She would love us.
Right.
She was devoted to the children.
Right.
And this I'm giving you as a testimony. When I passed Form 4,
Yeah.
because of the hardship I had gone through,
Yeah.
my father not supporting me, I decided I didn't want to go any further with education.
Right.
I want to go and take a course with employment. But this lady said, no. This headmistress said, no, you are clever, you got Form 5. And
Yeah.
I passed.
Yeah.
I was crying because I knew I would undergo difficult.
Right.
This is the lady who, having heard of my voice, looked for special sponsorship for me
Wow.
to support me in Form 5 and Form 6.
Right.
So she really, she's my mother in the sense that I was not her relative,
Right.
but because of her love,
Yeah.
because of her care,
Yeah.
she found some money to support me.
Yeah.
Then it comes to the movement. As I was in the movement, there are several women who inspired me. I think my friend Mary Rusini, she's now director for Women Fund Tanzania.
Wow.
She's a young sister to me, but as a collective, she's really my inspired because the
Wow.
way she struggled, the way she was for women, and the way we gave her responsibility to run the organization, and she
Yeah.
did it so well.
Yeah.
And much as she's younger to me, but she's really
Right.
my model and my inspiration.
Yeah.
And I can say, not pointing only to women, but I think my women activist members
Yeah.
are my inspiration.
Yes.
Because the unity we hold,
Yeah.
it gives us strength and solidarity.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so important to have role models in your life and to look up to certain people in your life so that you know where you want to go and what you want to do.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic that you
I
had.
didn't look at the people, big people like
Yeah.
because
No,
to
it doesn't have to be.
me, actually,
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for a political post because I could go political, but I said, I think that's not my place.
Right.
So I wasn't looking to be like so minister, so and so, or so and so. To me, the person who inspires me is a person who matters to the community,
Yes.
who gives.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's fantastic. what advice would you give to women so that they too can bring a positive change to the community?
I'm telling my fellow women that each person has a ability to give.
Yeah.
And giving according to our biblical
Right.
writings is better than receiving.
Yeah, it is.
So, wherever we are in such positions, we have to know that we can give.
Right.
And we have to be willing, determined to give what we are called to give.
Yeah.
Be it education, be it material, be it facilitation of funds. So, and I'm telling my fellow women that the struggle for we is not yet done.
Yeah.
The struggle is still there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of challenges with patriarchy attitudes,
Right.
whereby women are still in some societies considered as second rate.
Yeah.
The work is not yet finished.
No.
We have to contribute to the movement.
Yeah, we
The
do.
movement of liberating women, the movement of empowering, and the movement of bringing gender equality in society. The work is not done, so the struggle continues.
Yeah, it's such an important topic, and I think that families, they need to discuss these things, and they need to, from when you're a young age, gender roles are already established. I believe, I was like we were talking last time. Sheryl Sandberg, she said in her book, she said that when girls are young and they act a certain way, they are told that they're acting bossy. And they shouldn't act bossy. So these gender roles, it's not so much even culture and tradition. It's more gender that you start to give gender roles to kids from a very young age, so that when they get older, they're supposed to act a certain way. Girls are supposed to act a certain way, and boys are supposed. And it's fine. They are certain. There is beauty. God has given beauty to women to have certain roles and responsibilities. But at the same time, I believe that women also have the ability to do so much for their community and for their country and for themselves. So it's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also for women to be role models
Yeah.
to girls.
Yes.
Because girls are also facing challenges.
Yeah.
So we have as much as possible to conduct ourselves in such a way that we become role models
Yeah.
to the young girls and young women.
Yeah.
Because the movement will not succeed if you don't have people who show the way
Yeah.
and show the way diligently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's so nice to see that from where you've come and to where you've reached. And it's fascinating to see all the challenges and the obstacles you've faced, and yet you have overcome everything, and you have created such a difference.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fatima.
Thank you.
It was nice to talk. Yeah.